All right, starting with our February 12th meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, you have the agenda in front of you. I need a motion to approve the agenda, or do we have any additions to the agenda? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I want to add.
You want to add?
Discussion of cow meeting.
Okay.
Where are we putting that?
So that should be F. Cow meeting. Have you got one, or did they just give you the agenda? Here, I've got one.
So if we added F, cow pickleball court discussion meeting, discussion, whatever, so be it. I'll motion to.
Second.
You'll second? Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Good here. Approval of the minutes of the January 22nd, 2024 Park Commission meeting and the cow meeting which followed.
I didn't notice any needed
I didn't either.
changes. I'll motion.
Treasurer's report. Second treasurer's meeting. The additional treasurer's meeting that wasn't.
Yeah, we had the additional meeting.
Should that be in there? Can we just?
Yeah, you have to
Treasurer's
approve those
meeting?
minutes as well.
That should be in there.
Oh.
It's, I mean, it was sent, it just isn't listed here. Right, that was a.
That was an emergency meeting. That wasn't the cow
Right,
meeting. That
so,
was
I mean,
we need to, yeah, we
need the minutes for that
We need
separately.
the minutes for that.
it's there. I
Okay.
mean, it was sent.
I didn't even realize that. I read right through.
But motion, just approve them all.
Yep.
Yes.
Put that on here.
I'm
as
fine
well.
with that. Yeah, if
That
they
way.
were on that. That was a 30-second.
Second.
Right, but
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Per diem slips are done. Secretary's report.
nothing.
Nothing. And the treasurer's report, which I thought I had here. There you go.
Treasurer's report is a total of $1,383.13. Well, going out with about $2,463 coming in from the rental revenue from the tower at Car Park, and then 3B paying bills at White Park.
Okay. Do we get any of the hall rentals anymore? Does Bob give us that? There probably hasn't been that many of this past.
I was going to say, if it's not on this
Bob
report,
doesn't give it, Christie does.
Or Krista.
on the next one, there should be quite, over the past week, I've probably approved 6+.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, we're going to
That
see
should
an
be coming
influx.
again.
Yep.
Okay, I just wondered because there was none on here, so. Okay. And the amounts are for engineering fees for Manick and Smith for $630. Stevens for $770. Disposable
So, and
dumpsters.
then, all right, so the
Go
portable
ahead.
toilets is the $770.
Yep,
The one in parentheses, $95, is actually the
Credit.
$95 credit.
nice.
Because I called and had a few things fixed that there was an error. So they got us our credit for that.
Okay. And then
So-
car park consumers 78. So the total is $1,383.13. All right, I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report, or did we already? No,
second.
you second? Okay.
Aye.
Chris, aye. Carol, aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye, all right. Motion passed.
I didn't see anything from Nancy.
I did get something from Nancy for community ed. Let me read it real quickly here. All right, this is from community ed. She says, wow, the daddy-daughter dance theme was Candyland. We had our largest contingent ever with 562 girls and 457 dads and grandpas. Next week wraps up our winter basketball league for grades 4 through 5, 6 through 8, 9 through 10, and 11 through 12. Competition was fierce, but they showed good sportsmanship and fair play. Over 185 boys enjoyed playing this winter league. March Madness begins for grades K through 1 and 2, 2nd through 3rd, the week of February 19th. We have 20 teams playing, 10 in each of the 2 divisions. Volleyball for grades 3 through 5 and 6 through 8 will begin in mid-March. Again, we have maxed out what space is available to us with 12 teams. If we're able to find additional space, I believe we could add a few more teams. And that will roll us into the spring. We are looking forward to moving our soccer games over to the old varsity soccer field. This will allow us to free up the baseball fields for outside play before we start t-ball and softball later in the season. We are also in the process of setting up Safety Town and summer parks. Registration will open for both of those as well as soccer in early March. We would like to add a nature component to summer parks. I will get with Carol at some point to discuss this further. We will begin work on our spring-summer brochure next week and plan to have it ready to roll out in March. While we are working on that, we welcome any input or suggestions for additional programs. As always, thank you for your continued support and assistance. Sincerely, Nancy Crandall. All right, so that's that report. Which brings us to public comment. Or, I'm sorry, presentations. Mitchell, you're up.
I got some packets for you guys. So
Say to give you guys a quick background, I've been talking with Mitch on getting whole signage for the disc golf course at Parmalee because that fell through before for us at one
okay.
point.
do I need to stand in a certain place?
Usually up there by the mic, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so my name's Mitchell. I run Black Swamp Discs, which is a local disc golf retailer. We're an online retailer, and then we run events and do some vending at festivals and whatnot. So me and Grant and Zach, we all know each other from growing up at Bedford, going to school at Bedford, going to church in Bedford together. And we currently ship out of Lambertville, so that's kind of where we're stationed as a business. Actually very close to Parmalee Park, so we are there all the time. Basically, the first page on here is what's at Parmalee Park right now for T-signs. And T-signs are kind of what guide you through the course as a new player or someone who hasn't been to the course before. You really need T-signs just to tell you, okay, what hole I'm on. I mean, it's like if you play golf, you need to know where you are on the course. Even without a map, T-signs are a basic before a map. And Parmalee's actually I was kind of surprised there's a app for disc golfers called UDisc. It tracks your round and your score and whatnot. Parmalee is the most visited course in the whole Toledo area, which is super surprising. You can kind of see what other courses in our area have as far as signage, course maps, and baskets. Parmalee is probably the least funded, I would say, even though it's the most visited. It's a lot of people's first experience with disc golf and Bedford Township because it's the only course in the area that's shorter and technical. So it's actually a great course to bring someone new to the sport. So basically where we're looking at it as a business is we'd love to see, this being the course that new disc golfers are seeing first as their first course. We'd love to see some sort of, new tee signs is definitely the first step towards rebranding this course as something Bedford Township can be proud of. It's definitely a process. Like there's tee signs would be first. I kind of got a list on there. a course map and welcome board would be awesome. So when you roll up to Parmalee Park, you actually see like something that's welcoming, like, hey, this is a disc golf course. This is, you know, where you're going to go in the property. This is where not to go in the property. Don't throw in this guy's yard. Like that's definitely what we'd like to see going forward. But a first step, I've got a rough cost estimate there, and you know, these are I think it'd be less than this. There are 2 sets of T signs on there, which is the most expensive part, and that's just because every form I've seen that talks about this is like, hey, definitely make 2 of these things off the bat. You're gonna, you know, at Parm, you know, the tree falls every week, it seems like, so who knows what's gonna happen to those signs, or, you know, vandalism, whatever. So it is probably higher than it needs to be, but I'm confident we can get it done for definitely that amount with, you know, the posts you need, the concrete, the gravel, the signage, all of that. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you really need to know. The picture on the last page is a representation of what the T signs, kind of what I envisioned the T signs to look like, and that just gets mounted on a 4x4 pole by each T pad, and it kind of says, okay, this is the yardage that you're looking at. It's the first step to making this course more presentable and easier for new disc golfers to follow.
Outside question beyond like the signs here, just out of curiosity and thinking long term, and like you're envisioning, like Vienna Park's baskets versus Parmalee's. I guess an upgrade to the baskets and a redo. General, you have a rough idea what a basket cost is?
They are pretty pricey, and it's different between brands, and it is. I wondered how sponsorship works I know it can be complicated, but T signs are a good first move because you can sell sponsors to local Bedford businesses to help pay for other things. Baskets are similar, and I don't know if it'd be an issue, but in this picture, that red basket, it's Innova Disc Golf on it. All the major manufacturers of baskets they view it as a sponsorship opportunity. They will give you a discount because that's a company that sells disc golf discs as well. So like, I don't know if you need to specifically look for baskets that don't have that or what have you, but there are, if you're buying 18 baskets, that's a big chunk of change. There are a lot of companies that will work with you and give you a discount based on sponsorship. They might even say, you know, if you put your course map in when you did the new baskets, they could offer you a certain amount of discount to put their name on the welcome board as a small sponsor spot. So there's definitely ways to look at that. $500 is not unheard of per basket.
Okay.
So they can be that expensive. But and the difference between those, Parmalee's work fine for what they are right now, but definitely visibility is the biggest thing, biggest difference. Like, I've been trying to show people, like, I'll have a new disc golfer with me, and I'll be like trying to point out the hole to him. You can't even see it through the woods. It's like that big color band is kind of what helps you see the hole. So I mean, that's the big difference there. But yeah, this, I guess I should clarify, the style of signage I'm thinking for Parmalee is similar to Whiteford's signage. So it's a metal sign on a wooden post. The signs at Ottawa Park down in Toledo, that's a good example of what a sponsored T sign would look like. So theirs is a little more intricate with the color map and all of that. I don't think that's necessary at Parm, but below that, it's a separate panel that can be removed. You can resell those signs every 5 years for sponsorship, and that kind of helps pay for new baskets, welcome signs, course improvements down the road. But yeah.
So this 14, 19, 22, this is like just a projected if we did it, or you can do it with your company at this price?
Yeah, so
That's what you're saying with that price?
That's some research I did. The biggest factor in that and this is to make sure this is in your guys' ballpark. I'm thinking the signs will be a little bit cheaper depending on what deal I can get and how many we're printing at a time. So that's the one part that could vary, and it's the biggest line item on here. So this is a overestimate, I would say. And, I didn't know.
Exactly like our mileage signs at Anstead, same setup, those 4x4s with the mile markers.
I think if you brought us a invoice that was more specific and was this price or thereabouts, it would certainly be in our wheelhouse to just
Say, yeah.
approve,
And that's,
motion and approve, and let you rock out with
that's
it
where,
if you wanna do that.
at this point, I don't know a motion that, I think the biggest hesitation that's going to fall is us writing you a check for this amount before anything's there, kind of as I discussed with you before.
Yeah.
If you can get an order of like the double signs, have everything ready to go, and have a total for that, we would be able to. I don't see us not approving getting the signs in, and then once the signs are in place, it's a matter of us going and picking up the materials and doing either with our maintenance or as a volunteer day, or you guys working with that, going that day, delivering posts, concrete, and everything, and doing like a volunteer day of installing these, or
We'd love to involve the local community. I think it'd actually go better with just people keeping it nicer longer. I think if they have if they know about it and they feel involved in installing it, they're more likely to
take care of it.
But yeah, I didn't know if this was something that gets approved now and figure out payment later, or I didn't know how specific to go. So you're saying I would need more.
If it was 14, 19, 22, and it was like, here's the specifics of the job, and here's how much it would cost, we can, I think, do that. If it's over 1,500,
I would say
It won't be more than that, for
right,
sure.
so if it's this or less, maybe with a few more specifics, it would be something we could easily.
then I'll start with this. I'll make a motion to approve 2 sets of T signs at up to $1,080. That's the roughly estimated, and payment would be upon delivery of the actual signs and not writing you a check beforehand before
Okay.
signs are on hand.
Okay.
If you can make that happen, you can provide us an invoice for $1,080 or less. That's my motion, is to approve that and have him get these signs in place so we can get them.
How about we just motion the whole thing and you guys put them in? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Concrete and the gravel and all that. I mean, once you.
But that's going to go over the amount probably, right?
no, it's 14,
Oh, was it
19. And
40? Oh, okay.
if you do the signs as a separate invoice, then for sure, from there, it's a maintenance day of just getting materials and supplies. It doesn't have to be part of the actual
Did it
purchase
quickly, but I
invoice.
didn't.
Or we save maintenance a day.
Well, that's what we would, the
So,
goal
you
would
know,
be to
yeah.
do as a volunteer day and set that up, and we can do that on the
Yeah,
site.
I mean, that's more things to think about and facilitate and get on the record.
That's why I
with
was
that rather than just.
breaking it into the step one, we need signs. 2 sets, we're estimating roughly to be 1080.
It's on, yeah. It says it's on.
Yep.
Button's pushed. Yeah, my button's pushed. Hello. Testing.
So yeah, that's my motion.
Testing.
Motion 1080 or under to approve the signs for him to get them purchased, provide us an invoice for them and the signs. Once they're on hand, we'll work with you on there from scheduling a spring volunteer day to get these installed. And when we know that day is when we can work on either maintenance or ourselves going to the hardware store with our card to get post approved or get the post purchase concrete and gravel and the fasteners, all the little minor details to get them in.
Okay. I like that. I'll second.
So we're motioning up to 1080 for black swamp discs to provide 36 signs
Yep. I would get 2
at
sets.
a cost
I agree with him
of
on that.
1080 or less. Yeah. And in terms of who puts them in later, we'll figure out who puts them in later.
Right.
Maybe they can charge us again a separate price to put them in, or we do it a volunteer day or whatever.
Right. We'll
Okay.
figure
That's
those
not part of the motion. Good. Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yes. Aye.
Okay.
Let's get these signs in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mitch.
Cool. Come on.
Hey, you're all set. Unless you want to stay for public comment. Now it's open public comment.
I'm good. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Mitch.
All right. Moving on to fireworks. Did you
Keep that one.
Public comment. Carol, public comment.
public comment? We just had it. Kind of, I think. All right. Now we're going on to unfinished business, new business, fireworks. Did we get,
I have emailed the company directly. I've emailed Drew directly, and I've also called him and left voicemails directly. I've heard nothing back from them as of the moment, so it'll have to be pushed to next meeting.
Okay.
If you
For an
do hear
invoice.
from them, just get me that invoice. So it's on
Yeah,
the
so we
treasurer's.
need the
Exactly.
invoice.
That's what I'm pushing them. So we're not doing this in May or June
Right.
when the show is. Because we seem to be behind every year, so I'm
Every
trying to
year.
get ahead of it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So push it to the next
Yep.
agenda.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Trade fair, Saturday, March 9th.
So I spoke with Paul. We did not purchase a table for the parks.
Okay.
But we still
We are
can
welcome
if
a
we
person
want
at
to.
their table, so that way, if we want, we're welcome to be at their table with them as well. With whatever we want, skate park
Yep.
stuff, pickleball court stuff, disc golf course stuff. It's. And my idea of it is trying to get the parks back in township. I mean, we belong with the township. That's why we're having our meetings here, essentially.
That's what the push is.
Yes. So.
Still time to buy a table or no?
Still, what?
Still time to buy a table?
So is it a matter of
There's
purchasing
still time
one?
to buy a table. If we
want
want to
it.
buy a table, we can buy
But,
a
or
table.
we can
The
just,
deadline was about a month ago.
yeah, or we can just be
Or
at
we
their
can just be
table.
at their table,
Let's,
Which
which I think is just fine.
yeah, absolutely,
My issue
especially
is
from seeing it
How many
last
of
year.
us are going to be able to be there that day? You've got your
I'll
own.
be there at the fair,
But
but
you
not
won't be
with
at the
parks.
table.
I'll be there.
Maybe for
You'll be
5
there?
minutes.
I'm not doing a table for my company.
Okay, so you'll be able to be there. Okay. I was going to say, I can be there part-time, but I'm probably not going to be there the whole day.
Who knows?
Who knows?
If I have other
Yeah.
workers at my table, and that's how it depends on how my company sets that up.
Right.
If I've got the availability, yeah, I'll
Like
already
that,
be on
if we
site.
knew
I'll
for
help.
Sure that we were all going to be there for a couple hours.
I wouldn't
would
get a
off-
table.
I would get a table.
I
I'd get a
w-
table, and I would do it up just for us. Like
So we don't need a
so we know that
motion.
we're-
Just
No.
move
But
forward
you've
with.
already moved forward. Yeah.
If you're fine with that, Chris, and doing, I'm totally on board with that. I don't think we need a table of our own at the trade fair and spending the money. That money can go to the parks.
Okay. All right. So let's do a motion for that anyway, because
Motion.
Different from what we've done
Motion
before.
to have our members presenting through the township table, not a individual park table at the trade fair.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to say no. Somebody has to. That's no one else.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we should do a separate one. Sorry. All right, spring newsletter is due February 20th. And Aaron, I emailed you, but you didn't get it probably.
No email
Is
from
there
me.
something you want to, is that something you want to do? It's due by noon on the 20th, which is next week. So
Yeah, I will get done.
if you think you
Remind
can,
me when I send the minutes if it's not with there. I'll do it at the same time. I'll just send them together.
okay.
Remind me. But yeah, I'll get it done.
Take some notes for it.
The 20th is
Or disc golf
Monday?
course signs is planned. Pickleball courts is making progress. We're going to hear more about it.
The new tennis court.
And new tennis
Tennis
court.
courts. Skate park, possible.
We will be at the trade fair
Yep.
as part of the township table. Those are all good little notes to put in there for them to see.
Anybody else? Anything
See
else?
what's going on, yeah. That's it, I think. That should be good. All right, so Aaron will handle that. All right, D, I've got memorials in the parks. We've had a couple more people approach us for that. I'm thinking we need to come up with an actual, some kind of,
We started a can of worms, huh?
yeah.
So, yeah, Carol and I started talking
Isn't that
about
what we
this.
said?
You
We were gonna
know,
do.
there are
We
certain
gotta
parks you can
standardize.
do it, but we need to come up with some kind of standardized system.
My idea was sticking to, we always have trees falling and things happening. We need to replace trees. To be a standard thing is a memorial should simply suffice as a tree. If it's going in a park, it has to fit what type of tree it is and where it's going for the park. Like you can't put a tree in the middle of the burn area of Anstead, and
Right.
Yeah.
certain variables of that nature will be upon each individual process, but a tree and the most with a memorial would be like a concrete block or something that may go at the base of it. No signs and posts and things that need replaced and
I don't even
keeping
think
it kind of
Concrete
standard.
should
I'm
look
not
about
sure
them.
concrete block would be.
Or not
No,
even that.
no.
Yeah, because
just a
it's just something to
tree.
maintain around.
And they can
Yep.
come and look at it and say, yep, there's our tree for grandma so-and-so or whatever, but you don't have to.
But I don't think we should do like any type of flower beds or mulching or things that need more maintenance.
No.
We have trees fall every year. If people want a memorial, we're replacing the trees.
I think right now for Anstead and Wheeler, we should probably not do memorial trees until we get those other ones cut down and get some
Invasive.
spot in there
Oh.
where we want to put them. Yeah, mix
Yep.
it out enough. It was also brought to my attention that the Graveyards, we could possibly put some trees there, which is part of Anstead, technically.
Yep.
You know, so if somebody wants to do that and start putting some trees around,
There's spaces available
yeah,
there.
the cemetery, there are spaces there. I know White Park, you said you wanted to replace some there because we've cut some trees down there, so. But I think we need to get the form, and if you want to do that, because you sound like you've got a lot of good
Sure.
ideas for that, Andrew, so you just sort of work it out and
Standardized.
bring it at the
kind of-
next, bring it to the next meeting, and we'll approve it and
I can do that.
be all set. Thank you.
Bump that to the.
Appreciate
next
that.
agenda.
Yep, next meeting.
Are they all asking for trees? Or
Yes, so far.
all want
so
trees.
far. Everybody wants a
Which
tree.
is good. Like, that's where we
And
need to
that's
just
great.
make it a uniform thing to where, hey, okay, we're going to do a flower bed at this one that maintenance has to mulch every other year or mow around or plant flowers, or we're not going to maintain it and put the money into that. We need something that's just.
I think trees
if
are
a
good,
tree's
but we
planted
just
and
have
it
to
roots
leave
and
it, leave it
stays,
at trees.
the tree grows.
That could be a good idea for the undeveloped part of Anstead.
Yeah,
A way to develop it.
yeah.
Buy an oak tree, a memorial oak tree.
Put it
there
there.
was some memorial somewhere though that could be for veterans and others in the community, and
There's ways to do it, like
mean,
brick
there's-
sidewalks and stuff like that, which are really cool ways to do it. But the problem is, so now you got to construct a sidewalk with a bunch of bricks that are blank, and then over time you're going to sit there
Fill in
and
those.
pull a brick to put another one. I mean, it's
I'm more thinking just like a slab, I think there's one in Dundee or Milan that I've seen. It's like
There's one in Milan.
The Milan one, right? Yeah.
And there's a memorial out front of Township Hall. We got a first responder veteran memorial out front.
Is there? Oh yeah, that thing right there.
Yep, in the very front's the fire one then. Yeah, it's there.
So there's spots. So this is specifically
This
trees.
is for the parks. If we're going to do something within parks related, trees.
Okay.
Replace the trees. Or falling
We should probably
trees
get
every
a
year.
list of the
Type of trees for each
like
park.
oak or maple, or yeah, just
So we're tabling that till next, or
I'll
he's
get more of a
doing
standardized
something?
form for
Okay.
the parks to utilize to approve a planting of a tree.
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Andrew. All right, skate park pump track. We
Didn't see
have.
the dumpsters yet as of yesterday.
They were supposed to be delivered today.
Oh.
I have not been over there, so I can't.
yeah, today.
say
Yeah, it's supposed to be
whether or
delivered
not-
today. Yeah,
They said they were supposed to deliver them today, but I don't know if they made it or not.
we're supposed to start demolition tomorrow.
Okay, all right. And we had a gentleman, guy from the skate park, Asa,
Asa.
came in and he talked to us about skate park. He's the one that I've been in contact with, email back and forth about different
American Ramp
ideas.
Company.
American Ramp Company. He has presented us the 3 different types of ramps last time. We picked the middle one, the sort of middle of the road kind of thing to go, which I think is close to 500,000, talking about somewhere in there. So I was impressed. He had a nice presentation. I wish could have had people from the township there to some of the,
That's part of their process.
yeah.
Is-
Yep. So I don't think we can get him to come back. I'd like to present this at the township board meeting next week, so next Tuesday. I don't think we can get him to come back, but I'm going to have to see if he can possibly send us some information that we can
I
have
was
up on the
there and
screen
I
for
can-
everybody.
I can plan to present with you and kind of.
That would be great.
duo it.
That would be great. You can explain things better than I can on some of that. Yeah, that would be good. And just kick it to the township and say, this is what we're looking at. This is the kind of thing we want. Not that this is definitely the company we're going with, but this is what we're looking at. This is how much it's going to cost us to get it started, and see if they're willing to back it.
So it's pretty much through this company, which they run it start to finish, American Ramp Company. It is a 5-step process from site selection, if we choose to do it in the current location, if we are picking a different site, they go through all that analysis and what can fit where. They go through community engagement and host community meetings for the township and
Their
the
input.
pump track people to bring their input, because they have with us before, to give skate park community their chance, to give people who may be against it their chance. They go through all that, and they bring, based on the site we choose, they make a conceptual design. This is the type of skate park, this type of connected pump track. changes can be made to that. We can redesign it and change different ramps. It's nothing that's set in stone permanent, but it gives you a really good idea of what your total project cost is going to be. And this is going to be a long-term process. This is not going to be done by this summer by any means, especially with the cost of it. This is to get this project started. Just like we have Mannequin Smith start with kind of a look over and everything. They do the first 3 steps through the conceptual design and everything for a estimated cost. He was telling me about 20 to 30,000. If we can get funding over the next couple of years, or grants, or millage, or whatever it may be to be able to fund this, then that's where they'll actually create construction documents, details it, and that's where the costs come in and then you start accruing. Also, it doesn't all have to be done in one. It can be like
Phases.
phase 1 is this year, and it's going to be the skate park or half the skate park. Phase 2 is the following year, and it's built upon those phases then as well. So this is pretty much a presentation to the Township Hall to, hey, we're looking at this style of design, which, like we said, it was A, B, and C. B, it was more like 800,000 because he gave us like a 700 and 800 and like a $1.1 million concept design. If we look in that mid-range one, which is a concrete skate park with a pump track attached, if we're thinking in this range, this is what we're picturing over the next 3-4 years or however long this takes to get it replaced and put in properly. This is who we want to go with. Let them make the determination on it from there.
Do they have the money or don't they? Will
We find a way or won't we?
Right.
It takes it off of our hands. It puts it into them making decisions, which Todd has told us to do, where this is step 1. Do we want to approach doing something like this, or do you guys want to scrap it and go a different route completely?
My opinion, I mean, is this, so like there's no motion to necessarily spend any money or do anything?
The
It's-
main piece
The
would
motion's going to be to ask for money.
the motion would likely be to ask for money.
Yes.
And at the base of it is probably going to be 20 to 30,000 to get this company involved to do these parts to see if it's, once there is a conceptual design, a site selected, the community has gotten their input and engagement.
It's not even necessarily to get this company involved, though. I mean, we can't. Like, I mean, essentially, we'd be going to Township and saying, are we going to bid out
Right.
specs
This
for?
company for 20 to 30 does
All of that.
Sure, but we wouldn't be able to.
No, spending that kind of money, what he's saying, spending that kind of money, we still have to go out and,
Like,
Yep.
Mannequin Smith will no
$20,000,
doubt
you gotta put it out
present
for
a bid.
bid.
According to
unless you're
what
going with a contract.
Al was
There's
there,
different-
Al was
Al
at
was
the
there and
meeting, and he
explained.
said there's a,
I forget what the
call
group
it?
is, but on
Professional services.
thank you,
Yes.
professional services,
on
and if it's approved
major
down there, you
projects
can.
like this, you may not have to do our typical, oh, we've got to get 3 different skate
That'll-
park companies to bid this.
As long as
They
there's-
specialize in this.
Yeah,
They're
I
on
get
the
it.
But
national-
that'll still be up to the township board.
That'll be
at
up
the
to
end of the
township.
It'll
day.
be up to support, so I
We're
think,
motioning to send them to the township
The
board
township.
to ask for money and approval.
yes, yes.
I know, because I don't remember you know what? I think it was for ambulances or something like that.
Yes, that's what
Al
he
was-
used.
They said that we didn't get 3 bids. It's so
That
they,
was- That's what
yep,
he was referencing.
there you go.
I
Sourcewell.
Because I asked the same thing. I said, well, we have 3 bids.
Sourcewell.
And they said they don't have to because it's
Specialized.
one they always, okay.
National Registry, which
So,
these guys are part
I
of.
think you guys would be fine just presenting that. I mean, don't be prepared because I'm sure, because Rick's running for supervisor, you know, he can't shut up. He's going to have to talk.
Let them.
And he's going to want 3 bids, and Montre may chime in because he's running for supervisor. Those 2 just can't shut up. So just be prepared for them,
That's all right, we can only
hit
tell them
ya.
what we know,
Yeah.
and they're, take it from there.
because what I'll do tomorrow, I'll call Trudy, and are you going to email her something? Or because I'm going to,
Hopefully, he will send me
okay,
things I
That
want to
bid,
send.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
gonna- I'm going to
The
say,
one that we were looking at actually was just completed in Dayton this past fall.
Call them because you'll want to get that in their packet.
because I'm,
And he wants
Gotta
to
be in tomorrow.
He's gonna
I'm
provide us
well, I'm going to
with
give
stuff.
Trudy the heads up. I'm going to say Andrew and Carol are going to be making a presentation on the skate park, so okay it for the agenda.
Line item.
I'm going to see
The more
if
you
we
can
could
get in their
do a
packet, the better.
Contact numbers and
Skype or
Dayton
something with the gentleman
Yeah.
that presented, with Asa,
Asa.
if he can do that to chime in during the meeting. I mean, if it's possible, I'll talk with
I
George,
don't know,
see if
yep.
it is, but, because he's not going to want to come back, he was just here. So it would be nice for him to answer questions.
But with this,
Can't.
what we're discussing now is pretty much like letting you guys, your feel of it, your.
I feel is I mean, if there, I know it sounds like we don't have much of a relationship with Township, which I haven't been able to keep up with, I guess. So I don't know what the deal is there, but just even like if there was a way to, on or off the record, with the decision makers at Township, say, hey, we're tearing out the skate park. Finally, we
Want to
you know,
replace it?
we are considering that there should be something owed to the community as a replacement for that. What's your appetite? And then just let them tell us and get their feedback and go from there.
You can give it to us at this
I
presentation.
was going to say, I think that's
Yeah, they'll give it at the presentation. That's the only way you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's
I
going to
mean,
be your
it's
best
sort of-
feedback is at the meeting
Yeah.
because you'll have
So not
everybody there
necessarily
that's
asking
give their
them-
feedback at once.
Like, I don't.
If they approve it, and that sounds like something that could conceptually happen in the next 3-4 years of a
Right.
major project like
Right.
this,
Yeah.
this is step one. And if they approve it, then the first step is going to be we do hire them at the 20 to 30,000 or whatever it may be within that range, and we get them to do these parts. And that's where there's community engagement. That's where we actually pick a site. We don't just say, well, yeah, we're going to plop it here. Somebody go get us 3 bids.
I motion send Carol and Andrew to the next township board meeting to present the company, American Ramp Company, for the designing of and site selection help of the skate park, and to ask for the monies to pay for
That,
services.
That portion.
that portion.
That portion of the services.
Yeah. I'll second.
To come from, for the monies to come from the general fund, to come from the general fund.
Yes. Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
No.
Okay. The ayes, motion passes. Next is
Added F.
the added car park, pickleball.
So I just wanted to, I just wanted to discuss having a cow meeting for the pickleball court alternatives. Manikin Smith has gotten back. They've emailed me the site plan drawings and estimated costs and not just like a total cost, a whole breakdown of the cost of the project, which I'll get emailed over to everybody tomorrow.
Okay.
I would like to have a cow meeting on that subject specifically, so we can openly talk about it and
You want it
figure out
before,
what direction we want to go
before our next meeting?
for our next meeting. So that way we can make a decision.
Should we have it prior to the meeting,
I'd be fine with that.
like 6:30? If that's the only thing we're discussing during the county, I don't think we need more than a half hour.
Yeah, 6:30.
Is that all right? Will that
Fine
work
with
better? The other option was we were thinking Thursday. Thursday we could meet.
This
Thursday?
Thursday?
but Yeah, this Thursday.
Oh, I'm still making sure my notes. So you want, okay, but so you're saying you want to have a cow meeting to
Just to
discuss,
discuss that.
like the Manikin Smith plans and
The
what we've got
breakdown-
so
the
far.
breakdown.
Yeah, yep.
So we
So
understand.
we know.
There's two. They gave us two alternatives.
Right, and then we may
to
know
go.
which
Yeah.
path to take. I think 6:30.
Which would be on the
before
26th.
Before the next meeting is a better bet.
All right.
Especially, I mean,
Okay.
if we have any chance of getting Chaz here, I think that he'd probably have a better chance with that than a whole separate day.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too. I guess a whole separate day is harder.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's a motion for Monday, the
6:30
26th at 6:30 PM cow meeting prior to our 7 PM standard meeting.
And that will be at Car Park.
Yes, though we are moving back.
Well, that's good. We could even go out there and look.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Well, if it's late enough.
Yeah, but it will be.
Yeah, it keeps
kinda- I'm
getting later every
keeping
day, so, okay, all right. And we were also planning then afterward to have a cow meeting for budget. Hopefully they will have that information to us.
Just do that at 8 PM.
Do you want to,
7:30?
do you want to push that back? We can do it the first meeting in,
No, we do it right after. Let's just do 3 meetings right in a row. Get them done.
Doing it,
All
let's
right.
do it.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, let's not take up
So
another.
let's say
day.
7:30, because if we don't have a whole lot to discuss.
And we don't have to sit around and wait.
The only
till-
thing we got two now is what, memorials in the parks and,
It's gonna and the pickleball courts are gonna be
Pickleball.
discussed at the regular meeting.
Firework
too,
updates,
after.
nothing.
so
That's
like
fine.
3 things we'll have.
Can't just put the pickleball in the other cow meeting? We already have a cow meeting on.
We're having the meeting beforehand.
No, I know, but
That half hour discussing.
So that way we can make a decision on what we're gonna send to the township board.
Sure.
Our regular meeting.
If we do it afterwards, we're gonna have to wait another 2-3 weeks
I'm gonna write all the notes at the same time.
So-
For any meetings we have on that
But
day.
We can't make
have
a
an open
decision at a cow
discussion,
meeting.
and we can't vote anything. We need all the information.
Yeah,
prior
we
to
can
voting.
only-
We
yeah,
can only vote
that's-
at our 7 p.m. meeting. So if we
Oh,
discuss
so
it at
the
8
thing
p.m.
that
Yes.
you at 6:30 is gonna immediately go on the agenda
Yes.
at
for 7.
Okay, good, great, fantastic.
And the 7:30 one is all about the budget, which is going to take a couple meetings, so, yeah, just
Cool, yeah, that makes sense.
go from there. Okay, sounds good.
You might as well add for agenda for next meeting that I'm sure we'll have an update on the skate park and pump track.
Okay,
Our
so
meeting
that
at
one,
Township.
that one. Fireworks was the other one kicked over, okay.
So that'll be brief.
So that's 4 things
Like I
already.
said, just make sure that fireworks one gets to me before, so I can get on that track.
As soon as I get
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
I'll get it to you. I was gonna.
Anybody else we can call other than Drew? If maybe there's.
That's why I emailed the company directly.
Who is the guy? I mean,
Because I don't know if he's on vacation this past week or, I mean, it's their off season.
yeah, I was gonna say
so
it's not fireworks season. They're probably farming.
Maybe he
or
was
something.
in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Okay. All right, Parks update. Anstead Preserve, I've got nothing going on there. Card?
I'll have more of an update based on our cow meeting and next meeting.
Okay.
But I don't have anything else. Bookings have started to pick up. Did you ever hear anything back or find anything about the roof?
Ever heard anything?
If that's happening?
I haven't
anymore?
heard anything. I don't know. I know I ran into a guy from TJ Roofing and he asked me about it, and I let him know that we went with Holt. But no, I haven't heard from Holt.
Oh, I haven't.
So,
Heard from
but I haven't reached out to them either. I mean, I know we reached out and let them know, like, hey, you guys got it, contract signed over. Beyond that, I didn't think we really, I didn't think we really had to do anything after that.
Did I?
Yeah, so
Just remind him, maybe we have to call him.
that's not my job.
No, it's true, it's not your job, right, yeah.
I'll note to call Holt.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, if you want to call Holt, because I think you're the one that talked to him originally, right? Yeah.
I'll call him.
Okay, and I had
All
a
right.
phone call today while we're on car from Richard Taylor, who is the new president of the St. Paul's Lutheran Church Council over there, about the
Back area.
back
Property,
area
okay.
behind us, the property. I said, we already talked to our attorney and that, he doesn't see any problem with it. They need to talk to their either attorney or their tax person, because there might be a tax issue on this, them, not for us. And so we're just waiting to hear, and he wants to come to our next meeting. So that'll be 5 items in our next meeting.
Land at the church.
Behind, yep.
Yeah.
Did he give a number?
No.
We might want to push that cow meeting to 7:45.
So, yeah, let's do that.
That's the pastor, or that was who's coming?
New
He's a
director.
new director,
at that
new
church.
president of their council.
Cool.
Yeah.
President of council.
President of council. He will do a little presentation, and maybe by then they'll have an idea of what they want to ask for that property. Because I didn't want to make an offer and offend them by making it too low, so let them come to us first and then we can negotiate from there. All right. So Parmalee, we're rolling.
Yeah.
Skate park.
Maintenance got a lot of those trees cleaned up. I think the
Good.
big cut down ones.
I guess I didn't even know. I was sort of just looking at the skate park and
Yeah.
down there. I didn't even
That's
think.
straighten on that.
I know they cut them up. I know I saw them hauling loads of wood out of there. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as much as I've tried and want to keep trying with the skate park and everything, it's crazy. They just keep going on to the vicinity. Anything we get, I mean, like, I don't know that I want any fenced in anything anywhere. Just the idea that there's like a fenced in
Right.
thing that involves.
the biggest thing with them
behavior and
fences,
other
I think, is
stuff.
just keeping cars and stuff out. But there's other ways to do that.
Right, that's why it's like put
Yeah.
bollards up or something. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, but- yeah.
It's so crazy.
None
We've
of
got
their
it locked,
designs
they're
do
cutting
that.
holes in the fence. I'm not about to be like fighting people over that or arguing, but they just, I mean, it gets above 40 degrees and they cut holes in the fence and access the skate park, which they were doing throughout the last 3 to 5 days. There were people there. And there was a guy with his kids. He had like 2 little 4 or 5-year-old kids who had crawled through one of the holes. It's like, there's just no way to stop them. So I guess it is probably best we tear it out. And
It might be, but then again, it might be an insurance issue with fences,
It's
a legal issue. Like, like pools, you gotta have
maybe, yeah, at which point it's best that we just don't have it in a sense, because it's like we're not able to play babysitter.
Yeah, but there's no fence around any of those.
Their style design,
their
a full
style,
concrete style, you don't need
so
fence.
Maybe there
Is
isn't.
there anything else
issue.
in our parks that's like fenced? Just the skate
tennis
park?
courts. Tennis courts.
That's
think
more
that's
for
to keep
ball
the balls
control.
in, you know.
Yeah.
They could be locked, like if we were trying to do construction on them or something.
Yeah.
There's open gate zones. There's not.
not a
You
door.
would have to put like something up. No, there's no door or anything.
Yeah,
It's like an offset. At least
one
at
at Car
White-
Park has a gate.
Yeah, cars is.
Yeah, but I think White Park's just offset. You can walk right between.
Yep.
Okay.
You actually have to put a barrier there.
Yeah, it's just like we couldn't even do construction if we wanted to because we can't shut down the place and keep people away from it. They're just going to crawl on it no matter what's going on. So
Right.
it's crazy, but it's all happening, yeah.
Okay. Anything else with Samaria?
Oh, nothing new at Samaria. It's still there. The hall's there.
I had a couple people it got kicked over to me.
I saw that.
So I went ahead and
I saw
okay,
the
that,
I mean, we got some rentals coming in over
Rentals
there.
coming up. Yep.
So
The cars picked up.
yeah, Samaria would do a lot better if we had a bigger parking lot. I mean, it's a bigger hall than at Carr. And at the park, it's a nicer setup because you don't have as much traffic.
Right.
You're not dealing with a lot of outside people while you're having your function. It's just the parking is so horrible over there. There's just not enough.
Well, even
So-
putting some in front only gives you what 6 more spaces or something.
No. I mean, you could put it around the front and around the other side and probably, triple the amount of
Yep.
parking.
Triple.
Oh yeah, easily. So
That's something to consider. Okay. Anything about White? I know we had something today.
Oh, I've looked in. There was a car accident at the corner of Concierge and Douglas, and the car ended up sideways up in our fence and on the left, the telephone pole there. So I emailed back a response to Township to, how do we need to approach this?
Okay.
It'll get handled either by maintenance or a insurance claim, or if it's that in depth of replacing fence. I don't think it is. I think it's a couple bent posts and a top post. The chain link itself looked fine.
All right. I've got nothing for Wheeler. Pocket parks. I've got no complaints on that lately. Anybody else hear anything about pocket parks? Anybody four-wheeling through them or anything that we need
I was
to know
actually
about?
at the Lucille one
Yeah.
the other day. Do you know that land, like, back behind it?
Yeah.
That's not ours.
no, it's Canterbury's private park. That open space, like kind of kitty corner to it almost.
There's the open space, then there's, like, a trail. Like a whole wooded area.
Oh,
with
the
a
woods?
trail.
I don't think so.
I think that's just all various people's lands, and the trail just sort of is
Probably.
shared.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like, if that's ours, that's a ton of land.
I don't think we have a ton of land over there though. It could be.
Maybe we'll go look at it on the map or something.
Lucille? Yeah. You should look at it then.
Because, I mean, if there's a ton there that clearly could be sold. I mean, you could make a whole neighborhood there. I mean, not that they would want us to, but
Doubt that's
That's
ours.
probably not ours then, yeah.
fair enough.
Like way too much.
No issues there. Look great.
All right. Comments from the public? Where do you go? The gentleman came
It was in and out.
Okay. Apparently not.
It's always a different meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
You didn't look like a park
Comments?
person.
Yes.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? I've got nothing either. My team won last night. I'm happy.
Bleh.
Your turn.
Bleh.
Nothing?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Okay. Anything, Aaron?
Two things I should have said with Parm, but whatever. So I called the road commission, still waiting to hear back from them. Definitely that other parking lot would be awesome. I think it would be amazing for the park. Chris and I talked about it. I went out there and scoped it out, and like the land is right there where we need it to be at a place where we could use it. And if we can get it figured out with the road commission, like that's sort of where my mind is at with Parmalee, is getting that.
I would tell you 100% if this is something that's moving forward, that would be part with it. Because even talking with Mitch about disc golf, that was one of his comments when me speaking with him, is like they like the barriers. They think it's added to the organization and helped. But in the long run grand scheme, if we'd be putting something like this in there, along with disc golf, that would be part of that project.
Absolutely. Like
And
that's where my focus is with
lump sum total.
Parmalee, is just getting it ready for.
And this would be, and this style of thing would be a refurbishment of Parmalee Park and making it a great park like it should be. Yeah. It's so destroyed and wore down now that that's what it attracts and that's what you get right now. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people's concern with putting in something like this in there is, oh, well, it's just vandals. Yeah, that's because that's what's there. That's what it attracts.
Well, and it's where that is. I mean, having a parking lot on a main road and opening it up to the main road would just make a whole revolution for the place. So, like, that's moving forward. looks great. You know, would also be a big project, but that's, I don't know. I mean, they just got to wait for the next step. Road Commission. They should be calling me back any time from now. The other thing I had was, so I'm happy to take the calls. I'm taking the calls and doing it. I think I'm not as wonderful a person as you, though. Because like, I'm not doing the whole callback and going through all the varying questions about bookings. I bet you probably did that.
Yeah.
And like,
I did.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, I either need to be trained or I need someone to tell me or I need to like,
Basically,
I mean, is this a service?
That might be something to bring up in our budget meeting on budgeting and asking the township, like, you know.
Like they got money
it's a real
coming in,
job.
like they should hire someone to be the agent to deal with these questions. I mean,
that's the way it used to be. When somebody actually
what I-
wrote it out for us, the clerks did that, and then I think it was the Treasurer's Department did that, and
They just
and they
just
wanted
don't
to
have
get
the
away
they,
from it.
well, they don't have the time. They're doing a lot of
Right.
stuff with the elections and
Right.
collecting bills from the tax bills and things of that nature.
So that's why we
it's
went
not
the
really
automated route.
It's not really their job, but it was kind of just kicked off onto us.
right.
And and
And the automated.
we've just taken it and thrown it on our shoulders and have carried it this far so far.
And Carol, I
but the
think,
thing
was just
is,
sort of doing all the heavy lifting because she.
Yes.
I was there.
Well, I
could
mean,
do it,
like
you know.
they've got these questions and they call and they leave their room and like, so am I supposed to be calling back and just answering this whole litany of questions? I don't really know most of the answers because I've never really been involved in the process.
A lot of them, if they would read what they get in
Then
the
it's
email, it's
Right.
explained
That's
to
why
them.
I'm
It'll
not
never-
calling
it'll
back,
never
because I
happen,
figure
though.
they all figure it out
Yeah.
anyway. But like, am I?
No, you're
Somebody
good.
tell me now if I'm doing it wrong.
You're good.
Okay, good.
You're good.
And that's how we'll keep doing it. And I'll answer the calls of like, important, immediate things, but
Right.
bookings are going to go automated. So, okay.
All right, I'll motion to adjourn.
All right, I'll second.
Still have to add.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, skip.
All right. So as far as the agenda, I'll call Trudy tomorrow. Have her add skate park presentation to the agenda. I'm going to say Carol and Andrew will be there
Yep.
for her to be looking for it. Also, I already told Carol. I'll let you three know. I ran into Jamie's dad, one of the deadbeats from the disc golf store. So you have Jamie and Steve,
Okay.
and told him about the whole 1,500 EOs and everything else like that. Well, long story short, Jamie called me the next day and pretty much blamed Steve for it. I'm like, you're on the hook for it too. Long story short, he called Phil. Phil's working on them at least making a payment plan.
Pay better than nothing.
I said, look, even if you pay $100 a month, I don't care if you pay $50 a month. You have to look like you're doing something.
1,200 was a total.
So Jamie said it was all Steve's fault, but Phil's like, look, you're on the LLC also, buddy, so you're responsible. So you guys may be getting your money back. May take a while, but at least something's happening with it.
Thank you, Todd.
It was good you
Try
called.
that in a small town.
Well, I told him, I said, look, they're going to no trespassing from the parks and everything.
Well, I mean, it's more just the guy. I mean, it's great. You know people. Rock and roll.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Meeting is adjourned.